Hello, my darlings. It's such a beautiful hot day. I thought it's a shame to be inside. You know, just being in nature itself and in the sunshine just fills you with all that vitamin D, that happiness, the happy vitamin, as well as serotonin because you're surrounded by nature, or get out to nature and find it and fill yourselves with that happy hormone. But on a more serious note, what I really wanted to talk with you about today is bullying. I had a case last week I heard of, and I'm honestly not joking. I just cried. I did. I'm going to be honest with you, I did. And so I really want to focus today a little bit more on bullying, because it just seems to be just everywhere, you know. I mean, I've got a few statistics I've researched this morning to read out to you, but do you know 160,000 kids a day skip school because of bullying, whether that's cyberbullying and harassment, and that's really cowardly because often they don't know who it is, or whether it's in person at school. It can even be in the workplace. It can be in your home. You know, I work with kids who are bullied in their own homes and made to feel humiliated. You know, they're going through abuse. So bullying takes all shapes and forms, but the really important thing is to tackle it while our people are young, our young children are young. And you know, I heard a case last week, and I've actually I'm taking this on. I'm going to gift free Zoom sessions to this boy in America. He's the same age as my youngest son, and he has been bullied so much for so many years by the same terrible group of kids that he has actually become severely anorexic and now is in a hospital for sick children. And he keeps pulling his drip out because he doesn't want to be here. It's boiling hot and I'm covered in goose pimples sharing this with you. Obviously I can't divulge his name, but it's just absolutely broken my heart. And there are kids out there, those bullies are making memes of him and sharing them and calling him stick man and things like this. So even though he's in hospital slowly dying, that's not enough for them. And to me, they may be 15, 16, but if you are causing someone to suffer so much that they want to take their own lives, it's almost like manslaughter. It's indirectly that. I really feel it's that. And our bullying laws are simply not enough, and you need to keep on top of it with the schools. You know, let me just read this out to you actually, because this is really important. I don't want to get one word of it wrong because I've written it verbatim from the government, from the laws. The Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. All elementary and secondary schools shall provide students and their parents or guardians with a copy of the anti-bullying policies being adopted by the school. Well, that's all pretty loose. And to be honest, bullying in schools, in my experience, and not just my personal experience, my own son was savagely bullied, and I actually became known as a bit of a problem parent because they denied it was ever going on, and yet he'd come back black and blue. He was hospitalised twice, but oh no, that doesn't go on. And you know, very much closing ranks. And I was, you know, you shouldn't ever be aggressive. There's no point meeting aggression with aggression, but you have to keep on. You have to keep on it. And but the most important one to remember is and if any of you have kids who are being bullied out there, remember this one, because I wish I'd known it at the time. The Republic Act number 10627, which is an act requiring all elementary and secondary schools to adopt policies to prevent and address the acts of bullying in the institution. Now, it's still keeping it pretty loose, considering that 59% of teens aged 15 to 17 have been bullied or are being bullied right now. That's over half of our young people. Now, they're either going to be like this young man I want to reach out to, who it's going to have a lifelong impact on them. Lifelong. It may even cut their life short. This is how serious it is. Or bullies grow bullies. It's a bit like when you come from abuse, you either repeat those patterns or you go on to completely break them. There seems very rarely to be a middle ground. So do we want to create over half of our young children being bullies? And because things are often not written down exactly in a school, and it can differ school to school how they deal with it, very often it can be you know, it's all very well to expel people or send them to a juvenile detention centre, but actually, what is their backstory? They weren't born like that. We need to get to the bottom of what's making them bullies, as well as helping the kids who are being bullied, because this is having a lifelong impact all round on the bullies themselves and the people they're going to turn out to be, and the kids themselves who are being eroded, diminished every single day. And it's not funny, it's really, really cowardly, and we need to really take this on board because it's a massive, massive part of mental health. I'm actually being really serious today and well behaved, because I feel very strongly about everything I do, but this particular story, which I only learned about yesterday over the weekend, has really got to me. And also speaking with people like Lauren Lovejoy, who I mentioned last week, who had her nose broken, gum stuck in her hair, my own son. The amount of kids who come literally through my hands, or I do Zoom sessions with, who are being bullied right now is really astronomical. And you would think after COVID, people would have learned a little bit, wouldn't you, to kind of value contact, to value friendships, because we were deprived of it for so long. So we really do need to tackle this. And, you know, it needs to, you can't meet aggression with aggression is how I see it. Yes, it needs to be stopped, and sometimes that has to be done very definitively. But those bullies need as much help as the ones being bullied, because otherwise the patterns are going to keep repeating. And a big part of why victims of bullying don't speak out is because they know the minute those bullies are allowed back into the community, they're going to pay for it double, if not triple, and their lives are going to be hell. So we have to really tackle this, you know, as a global community. So if you have a younger child, I came up with this idea, but I mean, you can make it into boats with sails, you could make it into trains with little carriages. You know, I've come up with a flower, but it could be anything. Like with anything, any positive mindset therapies that I share, any play therapies that I share, it's all about making it your own. So if you have a younger child who's being bullied, to work on their self-esteem, which will, well, it will be non-existent. I've shown you lots of things to do with massage, like on the temples, melatonin to reduce anxiety here. I've shown you things to do on the fingers, stress and tension, relationships. So I don't want to repeat things. You can go back through my videos if touch is what you'd also like to use, or you'd like to use rather than positive mindset activities. But just to get back to this, I've done a big yellow flower in the middle because yellow is my favourite colour. It's joy, it's hope, it's the most pure happiness you could ever find. So, but you know, you might have a different colour, so play with it, always play with it. I'm not here to preach. I really want you to own it, and I want your kids to own it, because if you can empower the kids as much as possible, get them to choose the colours, get them to choose what you do, automatically that's flooding them with oxytocin and serotonin, plus dopamine, which is attention, focus, perspective, that delicious feeling of reward, just without even using touch. Their bodies will be producing that, and they will be building on their bond, their trust with you, and having a strong adult you can turn to, whether that's in family, school. This is a huge building block of resilience. Of course, 20,000 motorbikes have now decided to drive up my hill, but I'm going to be calm. So my positive self-talk, and then I did a few petals here, and I just did a few things for me, because I've also come through bullying in my adult life. I actually came through it within my marriage, my old marriage, and I just put myself in a child's place, and I wrote on the petals, I am enough because you are. I believe in myself and my abilities. I can control my own happiness, and you literally can, because I've done videos in the past, as you know, about how you can shrink the grey matter around the fear centre in your brain, and you can boost it around the frontal cortex by growing that grey matter through touch, through positive thinking, positive growth mindset, yoga. All these things can help to grow the grey matter around the frontal lobe, which are all your higher brain functions. So I can get through this. You know, I can get through this, and you can. You know, my bullies do not define me. And do you know something? If they do, if they are going to define you, and don't forget I did say they have a lifelong impact, turn that muck that they've put in you into compost and grow great things. You know, you've got a choice in life. You can let somebody make you feel down there, or you can take that muck they filled you with and you can plant seeds and you can grow something. You know, you can take those cards and you can think right, and you can overcome it. And like with Lauren Lovejoy, who I was speaking with you about last week, she's gone on to win Miss Universe. You know, she's had autism. She has autism as well. She's the most amazing singer. She's got a voice like Amy Winehouse. Look her up on SoundCloud. Lauren Lovejoy. You will be blown away. What a deep soul voice. And, you know, she's found her voice, literally. She's found her voice and her song. And she's done that in spite of her bullies. And she actually passed one in the street a little while ago and said to them, "Oh, did you see me on X Factor?" Yes, yes, go Lauren. So there we are. You've got to just, it's horrible. It's frightening. It's terrifying. I really, really, really get that. And I understand that. Believe you me, I understand that. My own children have gone through it. At home, they went through it. At school. And stand up to those bullies. You know, when I became that problem parent, and this particular group of teachers wouldn't listen to me, because the boys involved were over 10, where you can actually get a police warning, if not a record, I actually involved the police. I just took the matter into my own hands personally, and the police went round, and the boys involved never touched my son again, those particular boys. You know, however, I understand that could make it worse, but, you know, people need to know to live inside the law that protects people, and you do have things out there to protect you. So there are places you can go. If it's not the police, if your school isn't listening, or parents, there's always somewhere you can turn to. But nobody should be in a hospital for sick children missing years of school because they're having memes made about them and they want to pull their drip out and not be here. That has really got to me. I think it's one of the most awful, sad stories I've ever heard. So anyway, I'm going to be doing Zoom sessions, which will be, this is amazing, isn't it? This is what, on the positive of Corona, this is what it's done for us. It's opened up the world in a way via the internet. And I'd never have thought of getting in touch with a little boy in America if it hadn't been for this. So perhaps he needs a warning. Maybe you lot should warn him because you know what I'm like. Anyway, if you are an adult, do remember what I've said to you about the things you can do with touch. There's always someone you can go to. You can report cyberbullying now. It's a criminal offence, you know, and even if these people are cowardly enough to use a fake profile, those profiles can be traced through the police. They have special units. You know, we had to have them here after my marriage, where they can track things and trace things. Special, I've lost my, I've forgotten what it was. There's special units of the police that are specifically trained to do this. And anything bullies erase from their phones, every single thing you do on the internet, my darlings, leaves a footprint. Everything. And everything can be erased. Nothing just disappears. So please, keep diaries, keep records, keep screenshots. There is always something you can do. And I mean, whilst I've aimed this particular video towards younger kids, you know, even if you're an older child or an adult, you know, do it on your fingers. What are the things you can find within yourself that get you through? We all have strengths. And do you know, if you're that diminished and that eroded that you actually can't think of them, get somebody else to do it for you. You know, yes, you were really strong when you faced that. Guess what? That took all your courage when you went and asked for help over that. You know, you do not deserve to be bullied, whether it's in the workplace, by a teacher, by a child, by another, you know, one of your peers. You do not need to be bullied. Nobody needs to be bullied. It's illegal, it's unfair, and it has a lifelong impact. So check out the laws, make your schools stand by them, because schools will very often, and it's not, you know, I don't want to just be anti-schools. They are dealing with an awful lot, you know, no offence to Ofsted, you know, they've actually commented on my work before in a very positive way, work I did in an academy locally. but you know, it's terrific pressure. There's a lot of managerialism, a lot of accountability. Teacher training isn't always adequate. They're ticking boxes. You know, people think teachers' days end at 3:30. They don't. I have members of my family who are teachers, and their days don't end then. So we've all got to work together. Schools can't turn a blind eye to this. We need to be a team, because this is having a massive impact on our children's mental health. So do have a look back through my past videos. There's loads you can do to shrink the grey matter around your fear centre, grow it around memory and learning, grow it around confidence. There's happy hormones, coping chemicals. I've done yoga, touch, acupressure, reflexology. I've done about 95 videos on here now since the beginning of COVID last year. There's going to be something for someone out there. So go through it, because you define you. You make those neurological brain waves. You know, a child only needs to be given a message up to 20 times and it's in there. It makes a new neurological pathway. It's why brainwashing works. So this is neuroscience. So even if you can think of 3 things a day to be grateful for, in spite of what you're going through, that will start to rewire your brain. If you can think of 3 things you're grateful for that you have managed to do today in spite of your bullies, that will start to make you stronger, whatever age you are. So please go through my videos, see what you can do for you. Do not let anyone define you, ever. Goodness me, if you all knew mine and my family's stories, we're living proof of that. You know, we had no safe space anywhere, and I've been bullied at work. So, you know, really, it happens to us all at some point. So stand in your power. You are in charge of your neurological pathways. You are in charge of the grey matter around specific areas of your brain. And it really doesn't take long to reprogram that and take that muck that the bullies put inside you and grow things. You know, you might be an amazing counsellor for bullying. You might be an amazing psychotherapist. You could be an incredible singer. You could use your experiences to write the most incredible book. It's limitless. It's limitless. You are limitless. So I've waffled on. My videos are getting longer and longer. I'm beginning to think I need to set up a TV channel. Mind you, I'd probably end up with only 1 viewer, because you'd all be fast asleep the amount I talk. But anyway, go through my videos if you're brave enough, and there will be something for each of you to find to really help you. And I'm so passionate about this. I wish I could I just want to get my hands on all these kids being bullied. It means so much to me. So please, if you know anybody who is being bullied, or anyone who is a bully, please get them to go through my videos, because just as you can reprogram your brain as a victim, you can also rewire your brain as a bully. And that might be the bravest thing you've ever done, because there will be a reason why you are the way you are. I don't believe anybody's just born and thinks, you know, they're 2 years old and they've just learnt to talk. Oh, I know, when I grow up, I'm going to be a bully. You know, it's, you can, at any point in your life, even in your 90s, you can reprogram and rewire your brain. So if you know of anybody you think my videos might help, please pass it on. Not because I'm one of those saddos that wants, you know, oh, you know, pay me 20 quid, I'll give you 1,000 new followers. I don't want that. This has to grow organically. And if you know of anybody who you think my videos could help in any way, shape or form, please pass me on, you know, because we're all in it together. And as I've always said, this is your channel. This is not mine. So I've been a little bit feisty today and a little bit emotional, but anyway, I've got to get to America now and get hold of this gorgeous lad who's an amazing musician, by the way. So we got to get that going. And just yeah, you're in charge of you. You define you. And if any of you ever want to email me, it's info@therapiesforspecialneeds.co.uk. And these laws that I've talked to you about and these statistics will be in this week's, I'm the charity wellbeing ambassador for AnnaKennedyOnline.com. If you click on there later today, you will have those laws and that information to arm yourselves with in the workplace and in schools. So, you know, do log on to Anna Kennedy Online later on, and I'm under the Take 5 mental health campaign. Anyway, have a lovely week, everybody. I'm absolutely roasting. I think I need to find some shade. I think I'm going as pink as my dress, and I'm Italian and I normally go brown. It's beautiful though, beautiful, beautiful. So fill yourselves with positivity, my darlings, and I will